Oh, I think that's, I've had all different kind of point guards, back through the years. Some guys who maybe couldn't shoot it, but were great at other areas, could really get that ball to the hole. For instance, just different kind of guys. I probably took a 4 guy, that's probably what he was, and converted him to a point guard, and was a low Jamont Gordon. If you guys remember him, about 6'5", about 220. Wasn't a great shooter, wasn't a very cerebral guy, but hey, couldn't keep him getting the hole. Derek Zimmerman, probably helped us win that first championship. A guy who didn't play a lot his first year and a half, wasn't a great shooter, but again, unbelievable athleticism, ended up getting drafted. A D. Bost, a guy who was a scorer first, wanted to shoot that thing, and pass second mentality. So had all different kinds of them, and putting those different pieces together with their talents, and that's what we've had to do through the years. If you ask me, I'd love to have a guy who can shoot it, a guy can get in that paint, a guy that's cerebral, and a guy can guard. So that's what you look for, a guy can do a little bit of all of it. As we all know, it's such a valuable position on the floor. In particularly in today's basketball. The game's changed so much in the last 20 years. I mean, this game's about, that shot clock has changed it. The athleticism of people guarding, you need the ability to go get easy plays. You need the ability to, break people down off of center ball screens, where you get easy shots. And that hasn't been our strength yet. We don't get a lot of easy baskets. And again, different kind of point guards can get you some really easy baskets. That answer that question?
Talk about Ben Lawson. Sometimes you don't know what he's going to bring, what he does bring, and early on in the game what he does bring. Have you had players like that in the past? You can tell within the first 5 minutes, I know he's got it tonight or he doesn't.
I'm not for sure I've had anything I could tell early in the game yet. But listen, there's all kind of players that different mentalities, different strengths. Some guys can play better at home, they can on the road. Some guys play better against zones, they do man. There's all kind of different pieces. The thing about Ben is this: first off, he is a great kid. I like Ben and I say kid, great young man, great person. I like him as a person a lot. He's a team guy. He would have benefited so much somewhere along the way with a redshirt year. I mean, he needs to put 2 dumbbells, about 20 pounds each, in his pockets, each side. That's what he needs. He needs to be about 245 or 250. Then he got something. But we weren't able to put enough weight on him. We tried once we got in here. He just didn't maintain some weight. Then once we started practice, whatever he gained, it left him in a hurry. But Ben's a guy that he does some things well for us. He guards ball screens very well, and he executes very well. There's nights that defensively, he can help alter some shots and block some shots. And probably back to your question is, we'd like for Ben to catch that sucker and finish it. That's what we all would like for him to do. Hey, much as that's kind of the question you're asking me, and we all would. We all would like Ben to be a little more aggressive. But like I told him in practice yesterday, everybody has confidence in you because they throw you the ball early in the game, so your teammates have confidence in you. And I still have confidence in you because you're in that game. So go play like that now. You're the only one who have no confidence. I mean, you got to catch that ball, and you got to slow down, and you got to believe you can score it on anybody. But, I trace a lot of it back. It's he's never really been able to probably play consistently. where he's gained a lot of confidence. And that game still speeds him up. It speeds that mindset up. In particular, when things don't go well for him, he gets sped up more because he wants to do well. Slow down. Slow down. Don't try to do something you can't do. You don't have to be Shaq. Make the easy plays. Catch the ball and play hard. Simplify things in your mind a little bit, but we all have confidence in him. And the better he plays, the more he'll play. When he don't play as well early, then he probably won't play as much. So there'll be a correlation with that too. As long as we can get somebody coming off that bench, can help play a little bit. Yeah. Who was it? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
You talked about earlier in the season getting the minutes down for a lot of the starters and the graduate transfers. It seems like it's improved some, but do you feel like you're getting what you expect out of the bench, and do you feel like there's still some room for improvement?
Well, we definitely are getting a lot more than we were early. That's for sure, because we got 0 early, and that really hurt our team. That hurt us a bunch. We are getting more from it. Do we need more? We need more. We need more consistencies from some guys. You know, I think no question Jabari and Anton can bring some things pretty consistent. You feel like those guys are going to play hard. You know, offensively, you know, it's, you know, maybe we don't know for sure on given nights what's going to happen there. I thought the other night after the Charlotte game, those two guys offensively were really good, but against Old Dominion, I thought there's the size of Old Dominion neutralized both of them, neutralized their effort and neutralized their toughness. And the first stat that backs it up, when Jabari plays 22 minutes, gets 2 rebounds, no offensive rebounds, he was neutralized there. So we need those guys to add too. And, you know, it'll be an ongoing scenario all year long, point guard play. You know, what will our depth, how will our depth play? How will Damari play? You know, there's been games that, you know, he stepped up and played him a bunch of minutes, he's played well. Then there's other games hadn't done as well. You know, and that's kind of a roll of the dice sometimes. I wish I knew 100% what I was getting. The thing I know with Junior's going to give me some consistent experience out there defensively. He's not going to make a lot of mental mistakes defensively. Like the second half of that game when we're going over top of number 4's ball screens, and, you know, Damari in a stretch goes behind one of them, makes a 3. Then you remember in that right corner over there, a guy penetrated from the top. He helped inside on a ball side. First off, you don't ever help off ball side, but he helped off that ball side right corner all the way to that paint and kick it out 3 again. You know, those are two plays that, you know, that freshmen make. That's just where it is. It's not unusual for a freshman to make those plays. Unfortunately, when you make them in close games and tough games, they'll get you beat too. And those kind of things that we need to continue to eliminate from freshman type of play. And, you know, we need, you know, try to get Marty, keep getting him some minutes, and try to get him a little bit more consistent, try to get him to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, because I think he can shoot the ball. But you guys know what that bench is. You know, y'all going to sit there like I am sometimes, you know, you wish you knew exactly what you're getting every time. And I do pretty much from a Jabari and Anton. I feel pretty comfortable what I'm getting from those guys. You know, Anton's going to try hard. Anton struggles on some ball screens. That's probably the area he struggles in as much as anything. Shows on a ball screen, but you got to sprint to get back. Doesn't change directions great. And so I wish I had an answer with some more consistency from that point guard play, knowing what I was going to get that guy I put in, because I really don't know. I don't know that right now. You know, none of us know that.
The redshirt year might have benefited Ben. Marco, are you guys kind of aiming for that with him right now, or do you think he'll be back on the court for y'all this year? You kind of know what you're going to do with him? Well,
it'd be hard for Marco to work himself back in any playing time. I mean, he's been so far out with so many different injuries, and you know, there's too many other guys that we'd really try to get something out of right now. I mean, So, like I said, Marco's been injured from day one. It's been 3 or 4 different things. So I haven't even thought about redshirting, but if he's not playing, so I guess that turns into a redshirt, don't it, if he hadn't played. Has he played a minute yet? I don't even know. Has he?
Belmont,
Played at Belmont. So he gets redshirted no matter what at this point because, I don't even remember putting him in down there. So that's how bad that was. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And Zach, I think I'm asking just in general, Rick, when you were talking about point guard play and how the game has changed because of that point guard position, do you recruit different philosophy-wise in regards to the point guard position, or is your attitude toward that point guard position when you recruit then basically the same?
If you're asking me, the athleticism has changed the game at the point guard spot. I want point guards who can break people down off that bounce, get that ball to the rim. It's really not a complicated game. You guys watch Westbrook play, and I'm not comparing any point guard we'll ever have to Westbrook. What's Westbrook do? It's freaking just getting a center ball screen and go just get it to the rim and go play. I mean, that's where the point guards have changed through the years right there. The Derrick Roses, those guys that you don't have to run plays. You don't have to manufacture baskets. And those type of point guards get easy plays for other people, can get shooter shots, can get your big guys who are not really very good offensively easy baskets. So to answer that question, I want point guards can break people down, get in that lane. I want point guards can get out there and guard that basketball, keep out of cap and getting in that lane. The days of a point guard coming down and just being a pass-first guy and doesn't ever look to score and just kind of a facilitator out there, not a lot of those in today's basketball. The game has changed so much. That shot clock changed that too. And if you came down and could hold the ball like you used to, no shot clock, those guys are important. But now that shot clock running down at 10 seconds, you better have somebody on your court that can go manufacture a basket. And that's kind of what the game is. That's where it is right now. And you watch the top teams in the country play. Go watch those top 5 or 6 teams in the country play and watch what happens in their guard play. How simple it can really be sometimes. Guys just getting that ball in the lane. It's really not a complicated game. And that's not who we are. It's a little bit complicated for us. I mean, we try to manufacture as much as we can. We don't get a lot of easy baskets. We don't get a lot of easy baskets for other people off of penetration. And that makes it tough consistently. But that's just where we are right now. We got to try to keep making it work the best we can.
How much talent does this UAB team have?
Well, they're good. I mean, they're big. I guess their back line's probably as big as them in this league. Coakley and Lee and what's that kid's name? Number 3. Minty, 21. Those 3 guys are big and athletic. Lee's really a terrific shot blocker, and the thing I noticed about them is they got good depth in those perimeter spots. They start 3 guys, but 2 guys they got coming off the bench add a whole lot to them. The Williams kid and Lavender. Lavender's a transfer. Those are good players. They got 2 or 3 guys who can really put that ball on the floor and get it to the rim. Good shooting team. Starting point guard, I think, in conference play, 6 for 10 from 3-point line. Shot it well, and they had 2 big wins now. I mean, they won both. North Texas, they trailed the whole game. And won in the last, whatever it was, few seconds. Rice was kind of very similar. Won it in overtime. So they went on the road and won in two really good spots. First game was at Middle. Middle smacked them. But their 3 first conference games been on the road, so it will be their first home conference game. So never easy on the road. And again, from what I've seen, I mean, there's Middle and UAB and Marshall and probably Old Dominion seems to be the 4 better teams in the league. Is that what you guys say? Seems to be. I hadn't watched Louisiana Tech yet, but they got beat at home by San Antonio the other night. Is that right? But those 4 teams seem to be best. Middle and UAB and Marshall's County seems to be what I've seen a little bit, the top 3 teams. Yes, sir.
Rick, since he's come back, how do you think Willie has handled himself both on the court and off the court?
Willie's handled himself probably better than expected him to handle it even. It's all been good. So to his credit, he's given himself a chance because of his actions or his behavior to give himself a chance again. So we'll see when we can get him worked back in some things. You know, he's got some athleticism. You know, naturally it'll be a learning curve for him right now because, you know, he basically missed whatever it was. Y'all know what it is. I don't even know when the date was. Middle of November, whenever it was, and basically hadn't been back. So, but to answer your question, he's handled everything to this point. Yep. Give me another one, guys. Come on.
Yeah, Mitchell, Josh, and Tavion all named all Don's on there nominees today. I know a lot of kids get nominated, but still to have them all have that honor and knowing the kind of senior years they're having, is just how proud of you of that group.
Yeah, I think, you know, Tavion here in the States having a terrific year. I mean, he doesn't have as much help as he's had in the past. He was at the game Saturday and talked to his coach. I guess he's averaging 28, 29 a game, something like that. And but one of those guys, a multi-dimensional type of player. You know, I like those guys that you don't have to pinhole as a 1, don't have to pinhole as a 2. Hey, they're a basketball player and they're a perimeter guy. I don't know what he is. I like those kind of guys. What is Westbrook? I don't know. What is he? He's just a perimeter player. That's where the game is. He's one of those guys. He can play. He can be a guy that initiates your offense, or he can be a guy that can play along with, or have 2 guys that can initiate some things. But he's got quickness. He's got enough cerebralness too. Understands, sees next play happening, and that's good. That's that basketball IQ in the state of Kentucky that you don't see a lot. Keep going down farther south. All kids don't always have it. He's got that. He's been well coached. Jump up and make a shot. He's shooting the ball well. Those other 2 guys, Louisiana, are, you know, athletic guys. I mean, both of them having good years. They scheduled a game among themselves here in the last 2 weeks. I guess they can just keep scheduling if you want to schedule. So they scheduled a game 2 weeks ago against each other. I think it's in February sometime. So you guys jump in a car and go to New Orleans and catch that game. You can catch them both in one night. Who drove the last trip? Did you drive? Or whose turn is it to drive? Your turn? We'll load them up and go. Load them up. Yeah, we had another question. Yep, go ahead.
Rick, maybe this is just from the time you've gotten here as the WKU head coach and when practice has started, is there one player that you think has really developed in an improving way, in a positive way, that's really caught your eyes?
From where we came in, from where everything was at, I think Pancake's probably changed his game as much as anybody, as a 5th-year guy even. He was a guy when we first came in here, he couldn't guard me or you. Couldn't guard me, I don't know about you. He was that bad. Could he guard you?
No.
Couldn't guard you neither. Okay, so he was really bad then.
But you're a lot better than I am.
But you get the same thing from him every day. And that's the thing that I like about him, get consistency every day. Every day, every possession, every drill. He goes same way, same effort, and it carries over to the game. I think we've all seen from first time he come out of there, whenever it was, first exhibition game, we couldn't stop nobody. Right now, I have some confidence in him defensively. So he's gotten better. You know, I like to see Justin take another step defensively. I like to see him find a way to push through some things when he gets a little bit tired. Don't let offense affect the way you play sometimes. I like to see more of that from him. You know, and you know, it's well documented. I'm forced to play what I have, and but you know, to answer your question, I mean, and you know, crazy as it sounds, Junior's probably come a long way from where he was. I mean, he's first time he stepped on campus, he never played a point guard. So maybe don't always do things where we want, but from where he was to now, he's made a big improvement too. So, you know, those guys, they're all different. You know, I think the biggest thing that we wanted to do and try to scramble around to do, we just got to try to find a way to have a chance. You know, I think most nights, we feel like we have a chance. We got to play well. But I don't know if there's anybody on a neutral court somewhere that we don't just have a chance against. Now, we got to keep getting better, and we know who those best teams are. And we got a tough stretch coming up, a tough stretch. We got to get through this. We got to find a way. You know, I've said this always, everybody's good at home. Man, you can't drop games at home. And if you drop them at home, you got to find ways to go on the road and make them up. And whoever wins this league this year, I will promise you that team will win more road games than anybody else, because that's where those championships are won at. So whoever that's going to be. And anytime you lose a home game, that's a -1. You go on the road and win, that's a +1. At the end of the year, you count those 18 games up, and see who has the most pluses. You'll find out who won the championship.
Anything else?